All right, guys, definitely a different type of tech tip this week. During the week, I got a message from our buddy Tim Windsor, which included a video of some guy with no idea what he was talking about, complaining about Maryland trying to ban cars and all sorts of other tinfoil hat stuff. So, without any further ado, we're going to get right into it. Here's your Tuesday morning tech tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. All right, guys, we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to start off by telling you all the misinformation this guy put out there, and then I'll set the record straight after that. So, as everywhere in the country, there's primaries going on, all that for your local government, and this dude wanted to focus on that because political stuff gets views, and that's clearly all this dude's worried about. He's on here, he's rubbing his face, he's all excited about things. He's really mad about, I don't know, he has no idea what. But he's just trying to get you riled up. So he starts off by talking about the governor of Maryland, who I don't really know a whole lot of people that are a fan. He's cost us a ton of money. That's just facts. Political stuff aside, facts, all right? So what he did, he raised taxes. That's what every politician does when they need to, fix some kind of deficit. They go right to raising taxes. So he did that. One of the things was the vehicles, right? Registration, all that stuff. We had, from when I moved here in 2014, you could register a car that was 20 years or older as a historic vehicle. Whether it had any historic significance or not, it didn't matter. And it was a rolling clock, right? Every year, the next year was due. You could do that. The reason for doing that was twofold. Number one, it was cheaper. Regular registration for your average car, not to include SUVs and trucks because they were more money, but your average car was $135 for 2 years. Really not a bad deal, especially when I was coming from California. So, and if you had a historic vehicle, it was $51 for 2 years. Smoking deal, right? Here's the catch. In order to have a historic vehicle that was 20 years or older registered, you also had to have a non-historic vehicle registered in your name, because a historic vehicle could not be your daily driver. It specifically was you can't drive it to or from school or work. That was like the big thing. So it was, weekend thing, holidays, whatever. It wasn't enforced. Now, the first part was you had to have another vehicle registered as a, regular registration, but we all did it, guys. My 65 Chevy I drove every day with historic tags. The kid drove the Jeep every day with historic tags. This was something, you did it because, and here's the kicker, no inspection. Now, Maryland inspection is not a bad deal. You inspect that vehicle one time. When you first buy it, put it on the road, it gets inspected. And that's it. Now, some counties have different things, but the state, that's all they mandate. So people were buying these buckets, throwing a historic tag on it, and driving it around. He says in his video that, they always say it was for emissions, but now they're saying it's for safety because that vehicle is not safe. And he went on to, I got notes right here because he was all over the place. But he carried on that his CTSV, or STSV, which he didn't even know what year it was safer than a Toyota or a Nissan because they're lighter. Because Toyotas are lighter. What? What is this guy talking about? So he carries on about that, and then he says that now they're saying it's because of safety, because these cars are too heavy, they're not safe. No, that's not the problem. The vehicles aren't getting inspected. How many times I've gotten stuck behind a guy with no brake lights, or stuff literally falling off of his car, turn signals don't work, bald tires, whatever, man. And when you're driving something like that, you are putting other people in danger. So I don't know if he quoted the governor correctly or not, because he said, he said it's because of safety. He said he was having a conversation with somebody locally. If that's not the most roundabout way to say rumor, I don't really know what is. But yeah, he's so now he's saying, oh, it's a safety issue. Well, it is. It is a safety issue when you're driving something that's falling apart on the highway. Maybe the brakes are bad. That you're endangering other people, no matter how you want to fold it. So that that's something that he was, and he said they're trying to ban these cars now. And let me get my thoughts before I end up sounding like this guy. So this is where he was at, right? Now you understand what a historic vehicle was and what a regular registration, which is just the tag you have on it, how you register it. That's all they're mandating. So what does he say here? That they're trying to limit older cars. They've changed it. No, they're going to change it to 2006. Can't drive. Can't drive at all. Only on Sunday. No idea where he got only on Sunday. But they're not saying you have to register your 2006 because they're changing it back. I got ahead of myself again. When he came into office to make some more money, he bumped up all the prices. Like I said, it was $135 for a regular vehicle and it was $51 for a historic vehicle for 2 years. All right. Now I think it's $175 for a regular vehicle and $55 for a historic every year. 1 year you get out of it. So more than double the price, right? And he took away, he said, we're not doing that 20-year thing anymore. He said, we're stopping at $19.99. So what that did, and I know a lot of people that had to do this, that meant they had, I want to say it was 6 months to take their vehicle that was previously registered historic and get it to pass inspection. I know guys that were so worried about it, they sold the car. So they knew they were driving unsafe stuff, right? They just said, I'll get rid of it, no big deal. So, yes, it was a money grab. And I don't know if it worked because from what I understand, the state's really not doing that much better with money. So everybody was upset. And they said, okay, now they're going to turn it back. They're going to be, okay, you can have your 20-year thing. So that's where he got the 2006. He's saying everything 2006 and older is going to be banned. You can only drive it Sundays. No, that's not the case at all. If you want to register your 2006 vehicle as a historic vehicle starting in July of 2027, you can. But by then it'd be 2007. It's 20. He's going to bring it back to the 20-year mark. And the prices are still staying the same. So it was just a way to get a lot of people to, I mean, it probably boosted the economy because shops are having to fix these vehicles now that they've been neglecting for how long. And you got some more money for these things and, for registration. So, yeah, okay, it probably did make some more money. And a lot of people were up in arms. And I'm telling you, I'm just as guilty of it. I had vehicles that I knew would not pass inspection for one reason or the other. I mean, I always make sure they're safe. But the Jeeps needed some front end work for a while. Now we're fixing that, but that's besides the point. My 65 was the same way. They weren't going to pass inspection. And so I used the loophole that everybody else found. Then the government said, here's a loophole. We patched it up. Oh, God, what do we do? So that's what's going on there. He goes on in his video kind of say banned, and then how they want you to buy newer stuff so they can turn your stuff off because, the big brother's watching and all this. There's some truth to that. I was actually, Megan and I were talking about it, but it's not because the government wants to control everything. I mean, I'm sure they do to some point. A lot of people get power hungry, but it's actually for like banks and stuff, for like repos and whatnot. So, settle down, guy. All right. Let's see if I want to make sure I touch on everything. And I don't know where he got the only on Sunday thing. That's ridiculous. It's actually on my registration. It says everything you can do. So if you live in Maryland and you watched this guy here, I'll put his picture up. And of course, he's got 200 and something thousand subscribers and all this. And because he's just yelling at the camera, telling you everything that's going to get you riled up. And there's no reason for it. Just settle down. This guy especially needs to settle down. So he's not from Maryland, doesn't live in Maryland or nothing like that. Well, if he does, that's even worse. But like I said, right away he started talking about all the other states are doing the same thing, and kept putting that political spin on why it keeps happening. And guys, I'm no political science major or nothing like that, but everybody knows each party's got their own thing they focus on, and you're just gonna have to deal with it, man. We've been doing it for a lot of years, right? But there's stop trying to get views by putting this kind of trash out there when you don't even know what you're talking about. So, quick recap. It used to be 20 years, then it went to 99, just so we could grab more money to make change all their vehicles. A lot of guys, like I said, sold them, all that. Now it's going back to 20 years. The prices are still going to be more than double. And honestly, I heard that they're going to go up even more. So do whatever you want with that information. When I built my OBS, it was running and driving when I got it. It needed a lot of stuff, but I could have put historic tags on it. It's a 94, even with this new law, and drove the hell out of the thing, because like I said, they don't enforce it. So I didn't, because we kind of heard about this coming down the pipe, and I don't want to get harassed trying to drive something I love. So my advice is get your car to pass inspection, make sure you're driving something safe, and follow the rules. Now, do I follow all those rules? No, because I drive my Jeep when I want to, and I'm not going to change that one, even though everything's getting fixed on it. Same with my 65. I'm not changing those things. So if I get pulled over for it, it's my fault. They're not going to ban my vehicle. They're not going to do all this crazy stuff that this guy thinks they're going to do with shutting vehicles off and only on Sundays. And he rambled on for 6 minutes, which makes sense, because here I'm going for almost 12 to recant all the craziness this man had to say. So if you guys got any comments or questions about it, leave something down in the comments there, because I live here. I own a whole bunch of cars. All my buddies own a whole bunch of cars and motorcycles and all that. We know the laws. We mess with old hot rods and everything. You got to know the laws if you're doing that stuff. So if you have questions, leave a question down in the comments. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. And it won't be something that this Chamoke was talking about. It'll be legit, actually what the law says to do. Keep us all out of trouble and enjoying our hot rods the way we should. Thanks for watching, guys.